IT Bros, and welcome back to my IT workshop. This is Alvendril, and in this video we're going to continue from where we left off in the last video. So, as you can see, this is my channel, my IT workshop, and thank you very much for more than 2,000 subscribers. Thank you very much for the views, for the comments, for the support. Thank you very much. So in the last video, it's Tkinter Graphical User Interface Basics. I explained, well, again, the basics of Tkinter. It's not all, like I mentioned there. There are many things, many things more to it, but these are the basics, what you need for what we are going to create today, what we are going to start to create today. Right? So if you haven't watched that video, I'm going to leave it in the video description below. Also, I have many others for Python automation if you're interested in that. Also, the video link for that playlist is in the video description below. So I'm going to open up first. I'm going to show you what we are going to start doing today. So I showed you this in the last video. It's just a simple app. As you can see, you can do it whatever you want technically, but I'm going to show you how to do this because I'm an IT guy and I kind of like to do these kind of things that are useful, or at least if not useful, interesting. So you can get a lot of information from the computer. So for example, if I press get username, it's going to give you the name I have, Alvendril. If I click on the get IP address, of course it's going to give me the IP address, serial number, I explained this, and the computer name. Okay. So that's what we are going to start doing today. So I'm going to open a new Python file project, and now we are going to start. So from Tkinter import everything. Okay. So then we are going to use another library called sup process. I have used it in many of my Python automation videos, so we are going to use it here again. I'm going to explain a little, not much, but I'm going to explain a little on how it works in this video. So the next thing, as you know, we need this root to actually call the window where we are going to work. So tk like that, and we always end our Tkinter application with root that main loop. So it's open all the time because, you know, a window has to be open all the time until you close it, right? So that has been explained in the last video. So I'm going to start by defining the button. So define buttons. So as you know, this part is just a comment. It's not read by the compiler. So I'm going to start saying button. I'm typing it wrong. 1 is equal to the function button from Tkinter, and now we're going to do root like we know. I'm going to close this. I'm going to move my mouse, and we're going to go to text. You can start with any button that you want. There's no problem with that, but I'm just going to start with get computer name. Get computer name. So I'm going to change this really quick. Get computer name. Then we're going to make it a little bigger. So path X for the X-axis is going to be, let's say 20. And path Y for the Y-axis is going to be 20 as well. You can change this. It's just up to you. So then I'm going to change the font. This is not also needed, but I wanted to show it to you. So font is going to be Consolas and 12, the size, and not bold. No, well, maybe bold. Bold. So it's not fitting in my screen, so I'm going to do it a little bigger. So the icons are a little bigger, as you can notice. So I changed the resolution of my screen, of my monitor, so you can see better what I type. So I'm going to make it a little bigger like this. So we have that. Then I'm going to leave it there. Okay. So I'm going to leave it there. So button, I forgot button 1. So we're going to create, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4 buttons. So I'm going to copy this 4 times. 1, 2, 3. 4 times, and we're going to obviously change the button number. So this is going to be 2, this is going to be 3, and this is going to be 4. So this is going to be the same until here we're going to get serial number. So we have that, and all this is going to be the same. You can change if you want the font. I'm choosing Consolas because I like it a lot, and the size also you can change it. You can type italics here, and it's going to be a little tilted, but I'm just showing you what you can do. And then we have to change this. It's not going to be get my computer name. It's going to be get IP address, right? Get IP address. Oh, why am I doing that? Address. So what else do we have? We have button number 4, which is going to be get username. Get username. This has to be capital. Username, IP address, computer name. You can put it in any order that you may like. Doesn't make a difference. Well, it's going to make a difference. This is going to be in a different position, but you get the point. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to place the buttons. So I go place buttons like that. And now we are going to place the buttons. So button number 1, we have to copy all of them anyway, that grid. And now we're going to define the row and columns. Row 0, column 0, like that. And as you can notice here, like I mentioned in my previous video, this is row 0, column 0. So this is going to be row 0, column 1, row 1, column 0, and row 1, column 1. Okay, so we are going to do just that. So I'm going to copy this 3 more times, and we're going to go 2, 3, and 4. So this one is going to be 0 is okay, column 1. Then the next one is going to be row 1, correct? And the next one is going to be 1, 1, because as I mentioned, as you know, most, if not all, coding languages start at 0. They don't start at 1. All right. So we have this. So by the way, you can also place these guys over here. Some people do it like that. No problem with that. It just doesn't make a difference. It's just I like to have it organized as you see here. But it's up to you. So I'm going to save it. I'm going to run it. Allow me to bring it from my other screen. From my other monitor, and this is how it looks. Of course, it's not doing anything, but you can click on the buttons like that. So you can see that this one is working. So what we are going to do next, I'm going to close this because we don't need it. I'm going to close this as well. And we are going to do the output box. So for example, what am I doing? So you see this part over here, all this part, all this, another, let's say, square. Here, that one is I call it the output window. So I like it this way. There is other ways to do it, but I just chose to do it this way. So we're going to create this part right now. So for that, I'm going to introduce something that we didn't do in the basics. So I go and I'm going to call it output box. Like I mentioned, these parts are just text, are not code. Okay, so the compiler ignores this anything preceded by this symbol, numeral symbol. So we're going to create the output box. Okay. So I'm going to call it, this is a variable, I'm going to call it my text. You can call it anything you may like, not test, text. And now we're going to use a function from Tkinter, again, like grid or button, we're going to use something similar. So it's called, surprise, surprise, text. So it's going to follow the same kind of rules. You have to root it, you have to put in the root, and now we can define the width. Width is going to be 40. You can play with this, so you know how big it's going to look, so you play with that when you are coding. So the height is going to be 4. The font is going to be a little different. So font, I'm going to open this, and it's going to be Arial. Can be anything that you may like. 14, the size, and it's also going to be bold. So next we have to attach it to the window. So like I mentioned in the basics, you create a button and then you attach the button. Okay, so with text is the same concept. You create the text box and then you attach it. So since I only have one, I'm going to do it under this, and this one is going to be my text. So we copy this variable that you guessed it, grid, and now it's going to be row1, row equal 1. No, I'm sorry. So let's check it again. So it's going to be row 1, 0, 1, 2. So it's going to be row 3. I would say it's row 3. So column equals 0, and we're going to see how it looks. So I save it, and this is how it looks. Here is my output box, if you will. So, but it looks weird, right? Because this part over here and all this is separated. So we have to do something to try to fix it. So we learned this all as well. Column span equal to 2, column span. So we save it, we run it, and now looks a little better. So you can see that it has this text box is occupying 2 columns, 0 and 1. Okay, so we have that. So it looks a little better. It looks a little better, and then, but they don't do anything. So that's pretty much what we have over here. That's pretty much. So now we are going to create one function. So as you remember in the last video, we made the buttons do something when you press them. Right now they are not doing anything. So you have to play something, you have to do something. So if you remember, in order to do that, we have to go to the buttons here, to all of them, and we're going to do it for one to start. So we are going to use the command, and we are going to define, well, not define yet. We're going to name our function. So it's going to be called get. Well, I don't have much space here, so I'm going to try to squeeze it here. Get computer name, like that, name. So, and I'm going to close this. So we have created that. So we have this name. I'm going to copy paste it. Well, copy for now, and let's go back here. So all functions have to be on top. Okay, so we are going to call these functions, and I'm going to define a function that is going to be called the same. It has to be called the same. So now I'm going to do the next. So I'm going to create another variable called command. By the way, this is a variable I'm creating right now. It's not the same as this variable. As you can see, this one is in lowercase and this one has C in capital. So this is a variable I'm creating inside the getComputerName function. Okay, you can call it anything that you may like. So it's going to be called command, and now we're going to use the subprocess library. So subprocess, we copy it, and now the command get output. So, and we need the host name. So I'm going to open a CMD. If you type host name in your CMD, it's going to give you back the name of your computer. So in this case, again, is the name of my computer is this computer. So very creative. And you know, I have shown you that it's working. So we're going to do that command, host name, host name. So now we have that, and now we are going to place the command, not the command, the result of this command inside our box. So we have our finished process here. So when I click on get computer name, as you can see here, it populates this, right? So we have to make the code understand that what we are printing, it has to be shown here in this part, all right? So we're going to do that. So we're going to introduce kind of another command. So where do we want to put it? We want to put it in my text. So we put it here, my text that insert, and where do we want to insert it? In position 0, 0, okay? So comma, and now computer name, this is just text, computer name. What am I doing? I don't know how to write or type name. So we have that, and we're going to concatenate it with command over here. So we have that. So we are telling in our function, when you press button 1, go to that function, get computer name, and in this function, what it's going to do is the command, this is a variable, execute this subprocess get output host name. So this part is the subprocess library that allows us to run commands in Windows and Linux, okay? So then what I'm doing is my text, which is, you know, all this part, we want to put whatever the result of this command in my output box. So my text, which is my variable here, that insert, so you understand what that means, insert, and these are some things that you have to use. The position normally is 0, 0, because, I mean, that's where you want to put it. The computer name, this is just a text, and the command. So we're going to run it and see what happens. So I have an error here. Command name, okay. So I have an extra parenthesis. So, okay, we'll run it again. Let me bring it from my other monitor. So I'm going to click this. They don't do anything, as you know, but we're going to click now on get computer name. And I have an error. Why do I have an error? Module subprocess has no attribute get output. Let's see what I type wrong. So get, oh, okay. I typed it wrong. So it's going to be get output. Get output. All right. So we save it, we run it again, and I'm going to bring it from my other monitor. So these are not doing anything. I'm going to click in get computer name. And as you can see, it's giving me the computer name. So the computer name, this computer, all right? So then we have to create, well, next, we have to create, what am I doing? The next functions, okay? So I believe this video is long enough, so I'm going to continue in the next one. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I'm going to do the next video in a few more days. If you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe. If you have any other comment or questions, leave it in the comment section below. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.